I know you guys are doing a big session that's coming up next week about what to do. Why is there not a no-fly zone over Aleppo? Is this a...
Simple proposition.
Yeah.
The first things first, we must defeat ISIL. We must take out Raqqa. We must take out Mosul. We must eliminate the caliphate. It's the direct, immediate threat to the American people, number one. The DOD has told us in the beginning that the assets we need to be able to do that would have to be diverted. We could not do both. Could not do both. That's number one. Number two, we, in order to be able to do what needs to be done, you remember we tried to get the authority to use force before. All those Republicans who talked about how tough they were. I spoke to 156 members of the House and Senate for a minimum of an hour.
Right.
Groups of 2 to 25 in the Situation Room. No support. No support. So to ask, okay, and they'd say, what happens? We send planes over there, they get shot down. We have to go in and get them. Well, yeah, we have to go in and get them.
Well, let me ask you this. How does Syria not become the Rwanda of this administration? That you guys look back and wonder, what if?
Rwanda was soluble. Rwanda was soluble. This is complicated. We have to deal with central and west and eastern Iraq to clear ISIL. That will fundamentally change the
once
dynamic.
Mosul is taken care of, you think the focus can be back on Syria and trying to solve this?
Raqqa, too. Raqqa is the central place where we know plotting is taking place against the homeland in those areas. Secondly, Russia is in real trouble. They're getting themselves in a real quagmire. They have serious economic problems at home. Right. They're finding themselves dragged into this. The combination of ISIL gone, Russia in a totally different place, creates a whole lot of additional opportunities.
So we're not going to regret not doing more in Aleppo?
The answer is we regret whenever anyone dies. I regret that we're not doing something about, genital mutilation in Africa. I regret that there's still real problems in Afghanistan. But there has to be a sense of humility about what is able to be done at the time. And what we're doing is the right thing, generating a consensus among the Arab countries as to what we should be doing in the region, and at the same time going after ISIL to destroy it.
All right, final question. When I talked with former Russian ambassador Mike McFaul.
Yeah.
And we talked about the idea that every once you got to respond when they're hacking. You got to do something. He described it as a high hard one. Maybe just sort of like in baseball, you throw a high hard one to send a message. Why haven't we sent a message yet to Putin?
We're sending a message. We have the capacity to do it, and the message
he'll know it.
He'll know it. And it'll be at the time of our choosing and under the circumstances that have the greatest impact.
Will it be enough, do you think, that it'll get him to back off? I mean, how concerned are you that the country is actually going to question the result of this election?
I am not concerned. The reason I'm not is we're working very closely with all the departments of elections across the country, number one. Number two, the American people are pretty damn resilient. And number three, the capacity to fundamentally alter the election is not what people think. And I tell you what, to the extent that they do, we will be proportional in what we do. And
so a message is going to be sent. Will the public know it?
I hope not.